This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. Use the promo code TYT1 and get 10% off your order.
So I asked on television the other night, what the hell is Tim Pawlenty known for? And if you watch The Young Turks, you know I've been asking that for a long time. Now, I know he's, of course, the former governor of Minnesota. Everybody knows that if you're following politics. But even if you're following politics, I think a lot of people don't know who Tim Pawlenty is. But what is he known for? What has he accomplished? And nobody seems to know the answer, right? Like, why are we talking about him as a possible Republican presidential candidate? And, you know, I think a lot of people in Washington are goofballs. They're like, well, he's a Republican from a kind of a blue state, so hence he must be presidential material. That makes no sense whatsoever, right? But what has he accomplished? And finally, there was an answer. He was very much in favor of cap and trade and pushed that in the Midwestern states and was a leader on that front. Oops. Of course, right now, cap and trade is verboten in the Republican circles and is apparently a terrible faux pas and something that you have to apologize for. So that is exactly what Tim Pawlenty is doing. Let's listen in. Clip number one.
This was an ad that you cut a while ago. And, you know, it wouldn't be me, Governor, if I wasn't going to tease you about something. Let's listen.
I'm Janet Napolitano, Democratic Governor of Arizona.
And I'm Tim Pawlenty, Republican Governor of Minnesota. We don't always share the same views,
But we both agree it's time for Congress to deal with the real threat of climate change.
if we act now, we can create thousands of new jobs in clean energy industries before our overseas competitors beat us to it. So come on, Congress, let's get moving. Cap greenhouse gas pollution now.
Does that just give you a real stomachache to hear now?
Well, anybody who's going to run for this office who's been in an executive position or may run has got some clunkers in their record. Laura, mine I think are fewer and less severe than most as to climate change, or more specifically cap and trade. I've just come out and admitted and said, look, it was a mistake, it was stupid. I'm not going to try to defend it. And so everybody's going to have a few of those. I've got a few, but like I said, I think mine are less severe and less frequent than others. But
well, I've teased Gingrich about his sit-on. Remember the couch ad he did with Nancy Pelosi?
well,
That was tragic.
Everybody in the race, or the big names in the race, embraced climate change or cap and trade at one point or another, every one of us. And so there is nobody who's been in an executive position whose name is being bantered in a first or second tier way who hasn't embraced it. So in some way, the question is, and in my case, I said, look, I made a mistake. Cap and trade would be a ham-fisted, unhelpful, damaging thing to the economy. It's misguided. I made the mistake. I admit it. I'm not trying to be cute about it.
I'm sorry, my mistake, my bad. They always sound like Tim Hardaway to me. Okay, so first, if Tim Pawlenty does not get credit for cap and trade, in fact, he's apologizing for it, as you just heard, then again, I go back to the question of why are we talking about Tim Pawlenty? What has he ever done? But let's get beyond that and go to the issue of cap and trade for a second. So he's right. All of these Republicans running in the race were for cap and trade. Mitt Romney, Tim Pawlenty, Newt Gingrich, Mike Huckabee declared in 2007 that I also support cap and trade of carbon emissions. Did you know that even Sarah Palin, when she was governor of Alaska, has set up, quote, a climate change sub-cabinet position? She believed in climate change so much, she set it up as a sub-cabinet position to look into it in Alaska. Now, why have all these people changed in a very few number of years? Basically, in the last 2 to 4 years, they've all flip-flopped. And that's a great question. I think it's driven by a couple of things. One, the talk show host. Here, Tim Pawlenty is so sad as he's basically apologizing to Laura Ingraham. Like, I'm so sorry I ever disagreed with you. You and Rush Limbaugh and all the other conservative commentators who hated cap and trade and convinced our whole electorate, meaning the Republican primary electorate, that cap and trade is a terrible, disgusting thing. You guys were so right. I bow to you. I bow to you. Right? I was so ham-fisted. I was a clunker. I'm so stupid. But I'm just less stupid than the other guys. We all made the same mistake, but my mistakes are just a little less severe. But we're such strong. God, oh, damn it, what did we do? I'm so sorry, Laura Ingraham, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity. So that's part of it. The other part of it is, look, huge funders, the oil companies, the energy companies, are the people who hate cap and trade. They're the ones who juiced up Rush Limbaugh on Fox News Channel to fight it in the first place. The one guy who's been consistent on this is Haley Barbour, the governor of Mississippi. The reason? He's been taking huge energy company money for a long, long time. He was a lobbyist for them, and then he took money as the National Republican Governors Association head and as the governor of Mississippi. So since he's been riding that, that gravy train for a long time, he's been consistent. I've been supporting the oil industry for a long, long time. So now, as these guys are running, they also want to support the oil industry. I think it's a combination of those things, to raise money, and because their electorate has been turned so sour by the conservative talk show host on that issue. So, and you think Tim Pawlenty really thinks cap and trade's a bad idea? That all of a sudden in the last year or two he had this revelation, oh my God, no, what I was saying before, what I cut ads for before is always wrong? No, it's a political calculation, and he thinks even though it's the right thing to do, I'm not going to do it because it might hurt me politically. It's craven, and you know what? It hurts the country. And by the way, they have totally won. That's the thing that is maybe more disturbing than anything else. That the Rush Limbaughs of the world and the Fox News channels of the world are that powerful because they drive these Republican politicians to take more and more extreme views. They absolutely, positively do. Cap and trade is an excellent example of that. And then what happens? Those Republican politicians then kill cap and trade, which they did with ease. Even when the Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House. And then they had a huge lead. They had a filibuster-proof 60 senators in the Senate, and they still couldn't come anywhere near passing cap and trade. Why? Because Rush Limbaugh, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, etc. decided that no, they were going to do the bidding of the oil companies, and they were going to kill cap and trade for them, and they did. It's disgusting, and that's the way our system works.
Cenk, if you want to buy a domain name, you want to know the best website to go to?
I already know it. GoDaddy.com.
First of all, they have 24/7 customer service.
If you want to download GoDaddy's free iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry app, boom, on your phone instantly. And if you go to theyoungturks.com/GoDaddy, you get all of our promo codes, like TYT1 gets you 10% off of all your orders.
TYT3 gets you a .com domain for only $7.99.
You can't beat that.